So much for being here and joining us this afternoon. How many of you were at UNLV Crates this morning at 9 a.m.? Oh my Lord, y'all are awesome. Everybody got their Rebel cores that they're going to hold on to until graduation? Yeah. That makes me so happy. So I'm Valerie Burke, and I'm your Executive Director for Graduate Student Services. And believe me, you're going to learn what that really means. Throughout your course here, you get a lot of emails from me. If you get in trouble, you hear from me. If you want to have fun, you hear from me. If you want to get involved in research, all our programs, professional development, it's all through my office. So just remember Valerie Burke. And we also secretly use the name Grad Rebel. So either you get an email from Valerie Burke, you get an email from gradrebel@unlv.edu. Always open them, including every Monday. We started this past Monday, but if you didn't get it yet, we'll start again on Monday. Every Monday you'll get a weekly newsletter, and we'll tell you everything amazing that's going on for graduate students. Not just hosted by the grad school, but also hosted by your GPSA, the library, the writing center, anything that's going on. We want you guys to know about it. And instead of you having to go through the website and walk around or like read a newspaper, we try to put everything in one weekly newsletter so you know everything that's going on right there for you. For some reason you don't get that every Monday, just email gradrebel@unlv.edu and we'll make sure you get it. All right, so let's get started. Oh, just so you know, our lovely office is FDH, so if you walk out right outside this building, it's the tallest building we have on campus. It's 7 floors, and we're on the 3rd floor. So as soon as you get off the elevators, you'll see these bright red doors, and that's the grad college. Okay, so how many people are on social media? Okay, so I recently just joined. Okay, it's been a year, but still, Facebook. It's the only one I'm on right now, but we are on Facebook and on Twitter, and we're hosting a $500 social media scholarship contest, right? So everyone in the back got the Grad Rebel t-shirts. So whether you want to put it on now or you want to put it on tonight or this weekend, we want you to take pictures of yourself or with other people wearing the shirt. We have in the back set up our step and repeat, so it's a nice little backdrop. We have props. So if you take a picture, you post it on Facebook or Twitter, and you use one of our hashtags, hashtag Grad Rebel or hashtag UNLV Welcome, we will then search for those and then randomly pick the best one. And you just win $500. So right now, if you want to take out your phone, join, follow us, all that fun stuff, and then sometime in the next 3 days, because I think we're going to pick our winner on Monday. Let's see. And just so you know, we are super, super active on social media. So this morning I was already posting about UNLV Creates. Then we had new GA orientation. We'll post things from here. We do live feeds. We're doing contests all the time. And then we're really good. So pretty much everything you see in the newsletter that's hosted by the Grad College, we'll also post on social media just to keep you guys involved and reminders, deadlines, events, all that kind of stuff. So if you're on there, you might as well just link, follow us, like us, that fun stuff. Okay, so let's talk about what's in your folder. Everybody should have gotten one of these beautifully new designed UNLV Grad College folders. If you open it up, you'll see the most important things to know as a Grad Rebel, and we tried to limit it to 12 things. Obviously, there could be like a million, but 12. And then we also have a flyer in there for graduate student resources. So everything from the bookstore, the library. I know a lot of you got your Rebel card. I know some of you weren't able to get it yet, but that's okay because they're open Monday through Friday, just downstairs in this building in the Student Union. Financial aid scholarships, how to get involved, about our course catalog, health insurance. So just check it out. So it's all in one one-stop shop flyer for you. And then if for some reason you misplace this folder or the flyers, we're also going to email them to you. So will I most likely not get to email it tonight? Probably not, because we're going to have a party at the park. So hopefully I'll get that email to you guys by Tuesday. And then there's a few things in your folder from our lovely sponsors. So hopefully you're able to stop by their tables when you came in. If not, they'll still be out there. Fingerprinting Express, The Point, so it's housing or here close to campus, the Flamingo. And I don't know if you guys saw Insomnia cookies. There's still a few out there still. Those are absolutely delicious, and you can order them and have them brought to campus. I think they're open until like 3 in the morning. And then campus partners, the Student Counseling and Psychological Services, or what we call CAPS. There's also a flyer for them in there, and they're on campus, and they're going to be doing a series of workshops for graduate students throughout the fall and spring semester. And again, we'll keep you reminded of those. And then in a few minutes, we're going to play Grad Rebel Bingo, but I'll explain that in a minute. So next up, I would like to introduce Dr. Chris Heavey. He's our Senior Vice Provost.
Hi, everybody. I'm delighted to be here to say welcome to all of you on behalf of the University President, Dr. Marta Miana, and our Provost, Dr. Diane Chase, and our Vice President for Research, Dr. Mary Krogan, all of whom, as well as me, are absolutely delighted to see you here today. And I would always say this is maybe the second most exciting day of the year. We love to welcome new members of the Rebel family. It's so fun to see the energy come back to campus. The most important day for us, that's the most fun, is graduation day, when we get to see you all walk across the stage and celebrate you having achieved the goal that you came here to achieve. But between now and then, you have a lot of great stuff in front of you. And from my vantage point, it's one of the most exciting days. I wish I could go back to my graduate school years when you come in with a passion for a topic and you get to focus on that topic and try to spend a few years learning as much as you can about that topic. I remember talking to so many people who were undergrads and say, oh, I can't do more years of school and stuff. And I said, well, it's not really the same as going to undergraduate school when you have to do a lot of courses that you're not interested in. This is the time where you were able to pick something that you were passionate about, and now you get to pursue that for the next 2 or 4, maybe 6 years if you're coming into a doctoral program. And I also want to say that you guys, you men and women, are what this university is about, really at its core. And so one of the things that we talk most about is we're trying to develop people in student success. And we're trying to take people in and enrich their lives and send them out with skills and talents and abilities and experiences that they didn't have before. But the other thing universities are about is research and creative activity that we use to build knowledge. And graduate students are at the center of that, right? Where you're making that transition to being consumers of knowledge to being generators of knowledge. And that is a really special thing. And it's a unique opportunity. There's not many people in the world who get to do what you get to do in terms of spending a few years focusing on and learning about what you are most excited about. And so I hope you see this as a really special time in your lives and feel lucky to have this opportunity, because it really is, you know, if you think about it, if you step back for a minute and think about it, how many people would love to be sitting in the shoes that you are in today, spending a few years trying to learn what they're most interested in the world, and to really build a platform for the rest of your lives, right? Because it's graduate degree is a scaffold that you will use to go to places that other people often or mostly can't get to. And that's just a really exciting opportunity. And I hope you're as excited about being here as we are excited about having you. The other thing that I want to just say a little bit about in terms of the Vice President for Research and representing her is the kinds of services that the Office of Research offers you. And as an undergraduate, again, you're mostly a consumer of education, but as a graduate student, you become a producer of scholarship. And so you have an Office of Research, and who's controlling those slides? Oh, I guess I am, huh? They left me the control. An office of a division of research that all of a sudden is going to become a really relevant piece of your life. And so they have an office of sponsored programs that helps faculty and graduate students secure and spend money from grants. And so we probably have some people in this room. We have anyone on grant-funded GA-ships in the room? It's probably later in the graduate. Yeah, we have a few of you out there, and later in your careers, those become really crucial mechanisms for funding, and they allow people to do research that they wouldn't otherwise be able to do. And so the Office of Sponsored Programs plays a crucial role in helping faculty members and graduate students work together to secure research funding. I just saw an announcement today in UNLV today that we got renewal of our $20 million CTRN grant, which is an incredible grant that will sponsor a lot of different research. We often also have this Office of Research Integrity. And so now, as you begin the research endeavor, you are going to be subject to the rules and expectations of the Office of Research Integrity. And you'll probably learn about when you do your city training, which everybody will need to do to be involved in research, you'll learn about some of the bad history of things that were done in research before. And there's a good reason we have this Office of Research Integrity, because we need to protect the people that we're doing research on, or if we're doing research on animals, and making sure that we're treating all of those things appropriately and mitigating any risks that exist. And so you'll need to follow and comply with those things. And we also have this Office of Economic Development that works with the entrepreneurial aspect of research. And you may, in your research, have the opportunity to create knowledge that's actually valuable. My kids went to high school around here, and so one of my son's friends came here as an undergrad, and he was an engineering student, and he actually walked away with, after his first year of undergraduate, with a patent that was worth a lot of money for a thing that he developed through one of his collaborations with faculty members. And so if you're have that opportunity, you might get to be involved with the Office of Economic Development and walk away with something that's valuable. And the good news about universities is we are in the business of creating knowledge and sometimes turning that knowledge into economic development opportunities, but we respect the rights of the people who develop that. And so if you do develop that kind of knowledge, you will have some really direct gains from that. Unlike if you're in a corporation, I've talked to a lot of people in corporations who say, yeah, I got 6 patents when I was working with this corporation, but I didn't get any money because I was working for this company, and it all went for there. And we also have a lot of research infrastructure. We're a major research university. They probably learned it's a 300-something acre campus, and we have billions of dollars worth of buildings and research infrastructure that allows people to do research. One of the fun things I used to do is run a Rebel STEM Academy where we'd bring high school students onto campus, and we show them electron microscopes and all kinds of things that are locked away in these buildings that you might not get to see. But if you're in some of those research labs, you will get to use that stuff every day, and those are incredible things that facilitate the kind of work you're going to do. So again, I mostly just want to say welcome and congratulations for getting this far. I know you had to work hard to get here. They didn't hand you that undergraduate degree that allowed you the opportunity to be in this situation. And I just hope that you will enjoy these next few years. They were some of the best years of my life, and certainly built the scaffold on which the rest of my career has been built as a faculty member. I'm a psychologist by training. We got any psychology grad students here? All right. We got some great psychology faculty. I'm one of them, but you probably won't see me in that building much. I live over in the FDH building. But all of your faculty are really world-class researchers. They don't hire people into these jobs without them having really stellar research records. And so you'll get to work with some of the most brilliant people really in the country and in the world. And hope you really appreciate that opportunity and take advantage of it. And good luck with your time here, and go Rebels. Thank you.
Thanks so much. All right, so next up we are going to bring your Graduate and Professional Student Association Executive Board up to the stage. So you'll hear us call that the GPSA, and that's what it stands for. So you have your president, your vice president, your treasurer, and your secretary, and they're going to tell you what they do, how you guys can get involved, and all that fun stuff. And they're also co-hosting the mixer at the park tonight, so hopefully you'll come out and meet them personally as well.
Hi everyone, my name's Stephanie. I'm the GPSA president, and I just wanted to welcome you to UNLV. How many of you guys have did your undergrads here? How many people are new? All right, so about half and half. Yeah, so GPSA is your student government. A lot of what we do is advocate for you guys. So if there's ever anything you don't feel comfortable bringing up to the grad college, your departments, we'll go knocking on doors for you. We'll send these guys. Those two, the scary ones. So we also have the graduate comments. Did anybody stop by the library today during orientation? Free pizza. Or if you were an undergrad here at UNLV, you've also been to the library. You know the space behind the elevators on the second floor. It's kind of the blocked off area where we don't let undergrads in. It's usually a pretty good place to study. So I encourage all of you to stop by and check it out, especially if you don't have an office, if you're not a GA. It's a really good space to study. We have snacks for sale. What else do we have there? Fridge, microwave, little kitchen area. Yeah, computers. So it's kind of a computer lab, but also a good group study area, or if you just need a quiet place on campus. Also at the Grad Commons, that's where we have our workshops. So if you've been hearing anything about workshops going on campus, that's where we partner with the Professional Development Academy and hold our workshops there. Usually there's a few every week, so hopefully you'll stop by, check them out. And in conjunction with the workshops this year, we'll be kind of tying them to our book awards that we offer. You are able to apply once, and then if you attend workshops, you'll get extra entries. It's basically a drawing, so the more times your name will be in there, it'll be a greater chance that you'll get the book scholarship. So I'll just let these guys give an introduction of who they are and what they do within the GPSA.
A little taller. Hi, my name is Christine Wiggand, and I am the Vice President. I am a doctoral candidate studying kinesiology with a specialization in biomechanics, so I am almost done, light at the end of the tunnel, spring 2019. And my job as the Vice President of the GPSA is to head the sponsorship committee, and with sponsorships, we allow for any graduate or professional student enrolled at UNLV to apply for funding to support either research or travel to present your research. So we can give you money to go and go to a conference and present a poster, or if you need money to collect data, so if you need to purchase supplies or purchase, surveys or things like that, we can provide up to $1,250 a year per student. The application process is pretty competitive, but we are a group made up of graduate students that review your application, so that's pretty cool. So our next upcoming deadline will be November 15th, and that'll be for anything occurring in the spring. And then in the spring, we have a couple of deadlines for the next upcoming cycles. So I think it's really cool. I don't know, you get some money to do some stuff. Yeah, and hopefully it helps you finish your degree. And then in the spring, we have the research forum, which if you receive sponsorship funding, you're required to present your research at, but you're also welcome to just present your research even if you don't receive funding. And it's a really cool event that we hold here, and there's posters and podium presentations, and we give out money for awards, and lots of people actually win. So free lunch also, and it's kind of a nice lunch, so, free food. So yeah, I'll turn it over to Raphael.
All right, good afternoon. My name is Raphael. I'm with the Political Science Department, finishing my PhD there in voter behavior. I'm the secretary of the GPSA, and the secretary of the GPSA has numerous roles, one of which is taking down the minutes and attendance during GPSA official meetings. That's once a month. And the second role is editing the Luminary, which is the grad student newsletter. We're about to shoot out our newsletter early next week, so please look out for that in your emails. And this academic year, what I want to do with the newsletter is to highlight graduate student research, but sort of have this research corner where we highlight different graduate student research throughout the various fields. So we ask you, if you're doing something cool, if you have this nice idea that you presented, maybe a paper that's getting ready to publish, please reach out to us. We will come by, do a little short interview, and we will highlight you in our quarterly newsletter. So essentially the job of the secretary is to make sure all the information that is collected during these public meetings is retained and stored, and also to edit the GPSA newsletter. So I'll turn it over to my colleague, Eric.
Hello, so my name is Eric Paul. Everybody calls me EP. So I would like to expand on the Graduate Commons slightly. Besides it being a quiet space and a place that everybody can come and study, we're the only place on campus that has all the graduate programs in the entire universities, all the computer programs that are in one spot. So if it's not in your actual college, you can come here to the Graduate Commons. The library doesn't have it, but we do. The labs don't have it, but we do. So as a graduate student, you're allowed to come in there and use that. Also, as the treasurer, my job, or my responsibility is to take care of, besides the funds that we have as graduate students, we also take care of, I also take care of what the organization, student organization for, if you, instead of as individual funding, I take care of the committee that deals with organizations funding. So if you have a student organization that you are in charge of or want to start up, you can get funding from us, and we can deal with that and supply you with funds for that, for a startup. That's about all that I have to say. I will say this, I'm a veteran, and as a veteran, last 2 years ago, I went to Carson City and was able to get veterans their military records, their education transposed into educational. In other words, if you went to school there, that was transposed to here, so you got credits for it. That's one of the things that was passed 2 years ago that I was involved with, and I'm planning to go to Carson City this year too. So, and that's about it.
So now it's time to open up that folder again and take out your Grad Rebel Bingo. So now's your chance to kind of meet people that maybe you wouldn't run into otherwise, meet on the first day before school even starts, so before the first day. So you'll see each box has a unique characteristic or event or task somebody's done. So you gotta, everybody stand up, grab a pen, go meet someone cool that's done something on here, and then bring these completed. If you can get all 9 boxes signed, only one person can sign a box. So even though I may have watched all Game of Thrones and read all the Harry Potter books, I can only sign 1 box. So make sure everybody only signs 1 box. And then make sure you put your name at top, because we found out last year a lot of people submitted these and forgot to put their own name. So then we didn't know who had actually completed it. If you bring them up here and just start a pile, once it's completed, then we're going to put you into a drawing, and we have a bunch of graduate college swag that we're going to give out towards the end of the event. So I'm going to give you guys literally like 5.5 minutes to do this. So let's go. Without further ado, we now want to welcome Dr. Emily Lynch. She's the Associate Dean of the Grad College.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. That was a lot of fun with the bingo. All right, so going to grad school, for some of you, I noticed that this was your first time to grad school, but some of you are going to PhD program, so you sort of know the routine. But a lot of students are really curious about, what's the difference between a graduate student and a postdoctoral student, and then a professor, and how they think differently. So I'm going to share a story. It's about a science professor, and he or she was walking one winter morning out in the city park with her graduate student and postdoc, and they were walking down, and all of a sudden, one of them noticed that there was a genie lamp that's laying on the road. So they picked it up, and they, of course, rubbed it, and a genie popped up. And then the genie said, okay, I usually grant 3 wishes, but since there are 3 of you, I will grant each of you 1 single wish. So the grad student said, I will go first. I want my wish first. And the genie said, okay, go. And the grad student said, I wish I was in the Bahamas with beer and surrounded by beautiful people dancing. And poof, that wish was granted. They were now in the Bahamas. So then postdoc said, hey, it's my turn. I want to go. I said, okay, the genie said, what is your wish? And the postdoc said, well, my wish is to be in Hawaii with a Mai Tai and laying back in the sun. And poof, they're in Hawaii. So the genie turns to the science professor and said to her, "So, professor, what is your wish?" And then the professor said, "I wish those 2 students will be back in my lab after lunch." So what that illustrates is how kind the professor is to give them the morning off, right? So, no, but truly, we're here. We're so excited. It actually illustrates that you will be working. Oh, did I just turn it off? You will be working with really excellent professors here who are generally kind and considerate. And my part here is just to provide you with context of what the university looks like. You are part of 30,000 students, where you're among around 5,000 graduate and professional students. And you also are enrolled in one of the 155 programs, graduate programs, doctoral programs here, or 7 professional doctorates. And we actually support over 1,000 GAs, I believe, with 13 million allocated. And I'm just going to share some facts for you of where you are situated in the campus. So your home department is your department where you're registered in your degree program, but you're also family as part of the graduate school. And in order to get to know all the policies and rules, we encourage you to read the handbook that's available in your department, as well as look up all the other fun facts and responsibilities on our catalog that we have. And you can find all this information on the graduate college website. And I'm also here to remind you and highlight some important reminders about your enrollment. Remember that you must be enrolled in a minimum of 6 credits in 3 consecutive semesters, or you will be separated, so that's very important to note. And a lot of people have questions about what's considered full-time as a full-time student. Well, if you're not a GA, 6 credits is considered full-time, but if you're a GA, if you're not a GA, 9 credits is considered full-time. But if you are a GA, then 6 credits is considered full-time. And just one other note about health insurance. It is mandatory for all students that are graduates or professionals. And however, if you do have other coverage, you can waive out of that option. Okay, and I think that's my part. And the next speaker is going to be the graduate dean, Dean Kate Corrigan.
Hi everyone, how are you? Can't help but notice the energy is just a little bit low. So we need to, if you need to jump up, do some jumping jacks. It can be kind of the 7th inning stretch anytime you need it to be. So welcome to UNLV. I'm Kate Housebeck Corrigan. I'm the Dean of the Graduate College here at UNLV. I came to UNLV quite some time ago now. I was very, very young. And I've spent basically the last 2 decades here on campus, and I've spent the last 12 years in the Graduate College. Before that, I was a faculty member in sociology. That's still my home department, so big shout out to all the new Soc students. Woohoo! Yes, thank you very much. And from sociology, I was pulled up into the Graduate College as an associate dean, much like our brand new associate dean, Dr. Emily Lynn, who was terrific. And then now I'm the Dean of the Graduate College. So I have the pleasure of being with you for the next few minutes to talk through some tips for graduate student success. Some of you have probably been in graduate school before. Maybe you have a master's already and you're coming back for a doctoral degree. Others of you, this is a brand new adventure. So I just want to spend a few minutes trying to arm you with some knowledge and information that might be helpful to you as you move through your program. And if you notice, the sign here on this slide is pretty critical, because as much as we are so happy to have you here and we really want to celebrate you becoming grad rebels with us, our job is to get you successfully from here to the stage of commencement, right? So no matter what happens, just keep calm and graduate, right? So how do you get from here to there? Let me tell you a little bit about the Graduate College. So how many of you have a good sense of what a graduate college is? Few of you. All right. So most of you probably don't really know, and you need to because you're one of us now. So you are a grad rebel, as we say. And our motto in the Graduate College is inspired, innovative, and impactful. And the reason that we chose this is because we believe that you have to be pretty darn inspired to want to come to graduate school, right? There has to be something driving you. You want to do something, think something, create something, make a difference in some way, right? And so here you are. And then as you're a graduate student, your job really is to innovate. So the big difference between being an undergraduate student and a graduate student is in undergraduate education, you're really kind of a passive receptacle. You're learning everybody else's ideas and you're mastering all of those concepts and skills, right? But in graduate school, it's an entirely different thing because the expectation is not that you'll just know what other people have discovered or done. You need to create new knowledge, right? So as graduate students, you are creating the next generation of new ideas and big ideas and thoughts and innovations in your field, right? So innovation is absolutely critical to what your job is as a graduate student. And then our last is impact, right? And impact is really because if you are out there and you're inspired and you're working to innovate in your field, that by definition, when you innovate, you create something new. And when you create something new, you change the world in some way, right? Sometimes it's a small ripple. Sometimes it's a big tsunami of a new idea that changes everything. Either way, the work that you're doing as a graduate student matters and it's impactful. And so what we do in the Graduate College is we try to nurture that inspiration, support your innovation, and really celebrate the impact that you make. So in the Graduate College, our values, our core values really, are excellence, equity, diversity, opportunity, and impact, right? So excellence, right? Our graduate programs strive to be excellent, to be at the cutting edge and the forefront of their fields, and to support you through these programs in a way that trains you to be critical thinkers and outstanding in your field. Equity and diversity. We care deeply about equity among different types of graduate students, among students in different programs. We have 155 different programs that we work with in the Graduate College, more than 5,000 students, and it is not a one-size-fits-all, right? So different programs, different levels of programs, different types of programs have different needs. Different students have different paths that you follow through graduate school. We try to support you on all of those different paths and respect and cherish them all, and also treat them all fairly and equitably. Diversity. You know that U.S. News and World Report ranked UNLV last year in 2017 tied for the #1 most diverse university in the United States, and we celebrate that all of the time. And so in the Graduate College, it means a lot to us because we are striving to be a top-tier institution, and we're doing it as an MSI, a minority-serving institution with tremendous diversity at our core, and that is the strength that drives our excellence. Opportunity. Our job is to open the doors of opportunity to you as graduate students and to have your graduate degree be the pathway to opportunity and all that comes next in your lives, right? And impact. We already talked about that the work that you do makes a difference and is impactful, and we strive to make a positive impact on you as you travel through your program. So we are here to facilitate your graduate study, to support research, scholarship, and creative activity in all of its forms on campus. We work with every member of the graduate faculty, so all the graduate faculty in your program are faculty who have been approved by the Graduate College to mentor you, to advise you, to teach you, to work with you, to take you on, and to work with you in your research and scholarship and creative activity. And we try very hard with events and activities to create a community of scholars across all of the different disciplines, faculty, students, everyone involved in graduate education. We are also a service college, so our primary goal is to serve you and the graduate faculty well. And our service motto is 100% solutions. Our staff came up with that. I'm very proud of them for that about 5 years ago. And the staff said, we really need to embrace this 100% solutions as our approach to delivering outstanding service. So if you come to us as a graduate student with questions about graduate education, or anything having to do with your graduate experience, we will either have the answer for you or we will put you in direct touch with the person who will get you that answer, right? So we are there to support you, and when you get stuck at any turn along the way or you have any questions, we're the place that you turn to help you find those answers and stay on course. We work very, very closely with your departments and your graduate faculty, especially your graduate coordinators. How many of you already know your graduate coordinator? Awesome. More importantly, how many of you don't? All right, y'all, I got to work with you because we got to make sure that you meet that grad coordinator. That is sort of your de facto graduate advisor. It's the person who coordinates the graduate programs in your department, and they are your department's liaison with us. And our goal is to move to top tier. And that's not just our graduate college goal, that's a university goal. So let me tell you a little bit about our history in the graduate college so you get a sense of where your place is in it, right? So in 1965, UNLV's Board of Regents created the graduate school. And our first class of 11 master's students graduated in 1967. That's approximately 50 years ago, 51 years ago. It's pretty incredible that we're that young as a graduate school, right? But since then, there's a beautiful sort of almost perfect line going upward, right? From 1965 to today, showing the growth of our programs, right? We've offered more and more programs, and the growth in the number of graduate and professional students we have on campus. In 1977, we graduated our first doctoral student, and it was an Ed.D., so an educational doctorate. And in 1991, we graduated our first PhD. So we are like teenagers in some ways as a graduate college when it comes to doctoral education. But in those short years in between, we have excelled and distinguished ourselves. So we have moved over the course of our history from a master's comprehensive ranked university to a higher research university. And the higher research university status where we're at now means that we offer doctoral programs, we have a med school, we have a comprehensive array of programs, and that puts us in the top 4.5% of universities in the United States. So you're already in rarefied air. But our goal is to not stop there. Our goal is to make it to that one little step that's above us, and that is to the highest research status. And that's sometimes called R1, Research 1, or top tier, or Tier 1. And so our goal as a campus is to make it to that R1, Tier 1 ranking in the next few years. So this path to top tier is an adventurous one, and one of the big heavy lifts for us comes in the area of research scholarship and creative activity. So the ranking system really depends on this research scholarship creative activity set of metrics. And in these metrics, two of the most important are the number of graduate faculty who are doing research and the amount of money they're expending through grants and contracts to do that research, and the number of graduate students who graduate, especially, but not only, doctoral students. So graduate education is very much a big part of top tier, and because of that, we've been investing more and more in graduate education here at UNLV in recent years. So what's good for us in terms of top tier as an institution is also good for you because our futures are intertwined, right? The better we do, the more valuable your degree is. The better you do, the more it helps us move to that R1, Tier 1 designation. So because our futures are intertwined, you're going to hear from us a lot. We're going to here to support you. Your success is ours and vice versa. So there are a few things I want to point out in terms of tips as you think about going from here to graduation. One is credentials. You should all sort of just take a moment and if you can, pat yourself on the back because you're a very unique group of folks, right? You're incredibly skilled and talented, and you're here to earn a graduate degree, which is not common. So about 35 or 38% at the high end of Americans have bachelor's degrees. Less than 11% of Americans have master's degrees, and less than 3% of Americans have doctoral degrees. So you are already among the educational elite, having been admitted to a graduate program and being here starting on that path. Now, that path isn't necessarily going to be easy, right? There'll be new expectations, there'll be new rules, it'll be a culture change probably from what you've been used to. But my best advice is to be proactive, to be motivated, to be focused, and not to be deterred from the path ahead, because you can do this. We would not have admitted you if we didn't believe in you, because it costs us, the university, money, energy, time, commitment to select you over someone else to be in this class. So you already have our sincere vote of confidence. Now it's your turn to take that and turn it around and turn it into you earning your degree. And we totally believe you can do that. But as you do so, it's important to remember that a degree does not equal a career, right? And so we are just as interested in helping you identify your career path. So we're not just interested in getting you, your degree at commencement. That's important, but it doesn't stop there. we are also here to encourage you to think about and plan for what comes next. So since a degree doesn't equal a career, what does? And part of our answer to that are transferable skills. You have to have skills and expertise that you develop as a graduate student that then help you become marketable on whatever career pathway you choose for yourself next. And so you may or may not know exactly what path that will be career-wise, but we are here to offer workshops and support to help you figure that out and help you make sure that as you're going through your degree requirements, you're also building those transferable skills to be successful in your career and all that comes next. Yeah. And then I want to say a quick word about character, right? So you will face challenges and adversity. You will have high, wonderful, happy days, and many of them, and I wish them to be all your days like that. But chances are, in the course of a graduate program, there's that paper that you're just too exhausted to write. There's that class that you just can't wrap your head around. There's that professor that really challenges you or provokes you. There will be moments, right, where you are pulled in too many directions to feel like you can succeed. And this is normal. I'm here to tell you that that is an inevitability. Not because I'm trying to bring you down from the excitement of your big orientation day, but because I want to arm you with the knowledge that you are not alone. This is not just you, right? This is part of the experience. And as you face those challenges, I'm here to encourage you and challenge you to handle them with honesty and integrity, with responsibility, to be reliable and ethical in your interactions here on campus with your peers and your students and your faculty, and to always be collegial. Now, there's a difference here between congenial and collegial, right? You saw the movie Miss Congeniality? Yeah, you don't have to be that. You feel better now, right? You don't always have to be congenial, happy, everybody's best friend. What you do have to be is collegial, right? You have to be a good colleague. You have to treat people fairly and expect the same for yourself. So as you go through the ups and the downs and the challenges and the opportunities and the excitement of graduate school, this is a time when you're also shaping your character, your professional reputation. So I like to remind folks that today you are already the professional that you aspire to become. So as you're a grad student, the emphasis is really on the graduate, the professional side, more than the student piece. Now there is one one challenge, I would say, that pretty much every graduate student faces. And there's been tremendous research on this, and so it's been pretty well documented. This is really kind of poking me in the face here. Is that better? There's a phenomenon that's been very well documented, and it is very commonplace among students, most especially graduate students. And so I want to spend just a moment talking to you about it so that you know about it and you can name it, and then when you name it, you can beat it, right? And that is what's called the imposter syndrome. How many of you have ever heard of the imposter syndrome? All right, so you're very familiar, perhaps. So these were some of my favorite cartoons about the imposter syndrome. The top left, it looks like a peace sign, and one chunk says people who get imposter syndrome. The other says other people who get imposter syndrome, and the third chunk is labeled literally everyone else who also get imposter syndrome, right? So this is rampant and common. You are not alone. We've got the happy stick figure over here. It says, how I should feel when I receive an award or a fellowship or a scholarship. And then you have the dejected stick figure that says, how I actually feel. And the little thought bubbles say, what if they found out I'm a fraud? What if I'm not worthy? They made a mistake. They just don't know that I don't get it. I can't do it. Those voices of the little, sort of dejected stick figure are the voice of the imposter syndrome, right? Bottom right here is another one. It says grad school, where half the people suffer from imposter syndrome and the other half, well, they don't know what the hell they're doing. So they're actually imposters. So how do you defeat imposter syndrome? We call it the fraud voice within, like that little voice that sits on your shoulder that says you're not, no, it doesn't say you, it says I, right? It's the voice in your head. It says I'm not good enough. I can't do this. What if they find out I'm not really qualified to be here? On and on, right? That fraud voice. So this imposter syndrome will slow you down. If you listen to that voice and you don't believe in yourself, it'll paralyze you, right? It will come to a point where you just can't continue. And I've seen far too many brilliant, hardworking, amazing graduate students get stuck because ultimately they let that voice win in their own head, right? If you don't believe in yourself, it's very hard to have other people believe in you, right? So one of the things to do is talk about it. Give that voice an actual voice, and it starts to get quieter in your head, right? Admit when you don't know something. Everyone in here knows a ton, probably far more than I do, right? And you are all already experts. You're bringing all of this life experience and educational experience and all of these skills with you, right? So you're already experts. But y'all don't know everything. I don't know everything. There's not a person in this room who can confidently say, yes, I've got it all down, right? And so part of defeating that imposter voice is being honest with yourself about what you do know and what you don't, right? And when you don't know, it's absolutely okay. In fact, it's required that you just ask questions. So I've heard students say, I was afraid to ask questions because then they'll know I'm an imposter, or then they'll know I don't belong. And so it's critically important that when you recognize what you don't know, you feel empowered enough to ask. Ask a colleague, ask a friend, ask your mentor, your advisor, your graduate coordinator. Come to the graduate college. We'll help you find an answer. If you don't know, ask. That's a number one rule to sort of being an empowered and self-efficacious graduate student. And then also know that it's okay to change your mind. The other thing I've heard students say is, I came in so sure that this was the right answer to a particular question, or this was the right framework or theory to use to look at the world or my research. But part of what grad school is it's going to push your buttons. It's going to force you to think outside of the box that you're comfortable in, right? It takes that in order to be the innovators that you have to become. And so I would just urge you to be comfortable, or to be comfortable being uncomfortable, right? And it's okay if when you leave here or in the course of your graduate career, it's totally okay if you change your mind, if your perspective shifts. If you look back and say, boy, what I thought I knew when I started grad school isn't really, right, or isn't really what I do know. And so be okay with that. A few other tips to defeat the imposter syndrome. Get socialized, right? Engage yourself, show up, go to talks, go to lectures, talk to faculty, participate in GPSA, because being around others like you, other grad students, and faculty who have been grad students will help you recognize that everybody has that voice, even faculty, even administrators, all the way up, right? And so it'll help you get comfortable in the climate and the environment, and it'll help you get your sea legs on, if you will, so that you understand what grad school is like, right, and what's expected of you. And then with that comes a certain comfort. Share your work. Invite feedback. How many of you are super comfortable sharing your writing and your ideas with other people? I am so proud of all of you. And I'll just believe it that it's true. But I'm so proud of all of you with your hand up. Don't ever lose that. Now, all the rest of you, I was you. I was terrified to share my work with people. Still sometimes am, right? And so it's really important that you work on getting over that. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's writing, nobody's ideas, nobody's work. But if you're an artist, you have to share your art. If you're a researcher and a scholar, you have to publish, you have to write. And so get over that sooner rather than later, because if you nurture that and hide that and don't share your work and don't get comfortable with getting and giving feedback, then it's going to get harder and harder as you approach the end of your graduate career, because there's generally a piece there, a thesis, a dissertation, something that involves that kind of writing and sharing it and getting feedback, et cetera. And then last but not least, find your balance. So you're going to be pulled in a ton of directions. Family, friends, work responsibilities, being a GA, a teacher, a lab assistant, working in a lab, working in a gallery, whatever it happens to be. You're going to have all of these responsibilities plus your degree program requirements, right? And so that's a lot. So your plates will be full really quickly. And so I'm just here to remind you and encourage you to take good advice that I'm terrible about taking myself, and that is take care of yourself. Take time. Make time to exercise, eat healthy, stay healthy, do all of those things that you need to stay centered and grounded. And the sooner you learn that, the healthier you'll be, and the easier it will be to juggle all those balls that are going to be coming your way in grad school. So all of these things will help you with the imposter syndrome specifically, but just grad school more generally. All right, so that ethos of professionalism that I was talking about before, you may or may not know what that actually involves, right? So some of you might be thinking in your head, like, what does it actually mean to be a professional in graduate school? Well, you have rights and responsibilities, there are rules and policies and regulations, and so I don't want you to go off and spend a week, reading all of the rules. I'm not suggesting that. But I am suggesting that you arm yourself with the information you need to have to be successful. And so the place that you go for that, 2 places right off the bat, you have to promise me you're going to look at these. Number 1, your graduate program handbook. Okay, and it's online. If you go to the UNLV degrees directory and you find your degree, you're going to find your handbook there. It's in the graduate catalog. You can go to your graduate catalog and find the handbook. Read the handbook. Your department can change those once a year in summer. So you got to read the handbook, not just now, but maybe once a year in summer, right, to make sure that you're up to date on your department's current policies, practices, rules, all of that. And then read the graduate catalog. There's a small section of materials about policies and processes that if you read them once, they're kind of in your head and they'll help you as you go through. And most importantly, find your own degree program and look at your requirements. Because when you want to graduate, that's what we're going to look at. We're going to the catalog, we're finding your program, we're looking at all the degree requirements, and your RPC team over here are going to discern if you've completed all those requirements, and if so, they're going to confer you a degree. So you better know what those are so that you can keep your eye on that ball and make sure that you get those requirements done. Along the way, if you have any questions about academic integrity, plagiarism, best practices and research ethics in labs or in offices or other settings where you're doing your research scholarship or creative activity, there are places you can go for help. You can come and ask. You can ask us. You can go talk to the Division of Research. You can go talk to the Student Conduct Office. But you are subject to the graduate catalog, the student handbook for the university. You are subject to those policies and procedures. And at the graduate level, I'm here to tell you that when a graduate student is caught plagiarizing and they say, "Oh, I didn't know," that sometimes works at the undergraduate level. But you know how many times that's worked at the graduate level? Anybody? 0. 2 was a good guess, but 0 is even better. Yeah, it's worked 0 times. So don't try and be 0 plus 1, right? So this fall, we have a tremendous amount going on, like more than we've had going on any other fall. And so you get to be lucky enough to be part of all of it. I want to run through a few of these things real quickly. We have a professional development academy that you're going to be hearing more about, and that group, which is it's like our professional and career development group. They do something like 65 workshops free for graduate and professional students every year. They have 5 free certification programs, and they put on all kinds of events, including this one today. So I just want to give a quick shout out to Valerie Burke and Caitlin DiBenedetto and Anel Rojas and Chantel Stuckey and their entire team for putting on orientation today and for the 23 other events that they're going to be putting on for all of you in the next 12 months or so. So big shout out to those folks. Yes, absolutely. They're wearing dresses and sneakers because they're literally running all day between every event. We have Grad Rebel Gateway. Now you all applied for graduate school through the Gateway, yes? Pretty easy? You could apply for admission, you can apply for funding. Well, it's only going to get better. So we're getting a new look and feel in the Gateway. It's going to be beautiful, and that'll be out in about October or so. But more importantly, we're unveiling the Gateway for current students. So up until now, the Gateway has only been used for applications, for admission, and for funding. As of October, you will be able to go in as a current student, and you will have a whole other portal that's personalized to you in the Gateway, including a link that says forms, and you're going to see what forms you need to graduate. You're going to have all kinds of information that's specifically about you and your program and where you are in your degree progression. So that should be an incredibly helpful online source. We're going to be messaging out about it a lot. Keep your eye out for it. And you will be the first incoming class of Grad Rebels in the history of UNLV to never need a paper form. Amen. Yes, hallelujah. We have been trying for 12 years to get rid of paper forms in the Graduate College, and thanks to the incredible work of the Graduate College systems team and our admissions, recruitment, RPC, everybody's put their heads together and worked to build this incredible online system. It's called DocuSign, and DocuSign will put all of your forms that you'll need as a graduate student in your Grad Rebel Gateway portal. They'll be electronic. You fill it out quick and easy, and it electronically routes to everybody who needs to sign it. So it's going to make your life markedly easier than every graduate student that's been at UNLV since 1965. So woohoo. That'll be coming in October. Keep your eye out for announcements about it. We have a couple big events on campus that are brand new this semester. We always have homecoming, but this year they blew up homecoming and made it like a week and a half of activities. And the big activities are October 18th and 19th. And on the 18th, there's going to be a big, huge carnival here in the quad. Free food, free drink, music. I'm told there's one of those pirate rides and a tilt-a-whirl and a Ferris wheel. Like, we've never had those on campus either. So you must be magic, because you come in and all these things start happening, right? So keep an eye out for that. We'll, of course, have a grad tent for you all and some free stuff there. We're doing something called Rebels Give. You're just going to have to watch for the messaging on that. It's a 24-hour campaign to get folks to give to support the university. And it's not about the amount. The minimum gift is $5, and it's just trying to get people engaged. And so we are going to put some challenges up and ask all of you that if you just go online and do a $5 gift, if we get 100 of those, we're putting, I believe it's 10 grand towards new scholarship funds to support all of you for research and conference travel through the GPSA. And if we get to 200 gifts to the graduate college in that 24-hour period, we'll double it again. So there's going to be some other challenges too, but keep your eye out for that. If everybody does a little bit, a whole bunch more money is going to flow back to the graduate community. And then we have something called our Rebel Grad Slam 3-minute thesis competition. You basically tell us who you are, what you study it, why it matters to a lay audience in how many minutes? Good answer. 3 minutes or less. We do that every year. It's our 5th year, and that'll be the last week of October. If you're not ready to compete yet because you're brand new, that's no problem. Come. Watch other people compete. It's super fun. We do lots of free giveaways, and the last day, the finals on Friday of that week, we have a big reception. It's a great party. It's great fun to build and a good way to build community. So show up for that, and then next year, if not this year, next year, you should be competing in it. So keep an eye on that. And then on October 12th, we have our graduate showcase. It features a group of graduate students who competed for scholarship money to do presentations on their work, 5 minutes or less. It's a great event, again, super fun, and a big reception with free food after. So we encourage you to come out to the showcase. You'll be seeing announcements about it. One of the other things we're rolling out this semester is something called the Grad Student Life Cycle. And basically what we're doing is starting later this semester, all of our messaging to you, it won't be messaging to the entire graduate student community. It'll be messaging to you through the Grad Rebel Gateway and your email and a newsletter based on your status. If you're early, mid, late career, and if you're a master's or a doctoral student. And the idea behind this is we want to get the information to you that you need when you need it, not all the other extraneous stuff that gets in the way. And we're hoping that by doing this, you'll open our emails, you'll read those newsletters, because the information there is going to be targeted to you and students like you at your stage in your degree program. You'll be hearing more about this in a minute. And then I just want you to have a sense of who we are in the Graduate College. The Graduate College consists of a whole bunch of different units. We have grad recruitment and admissions and our front office. You've worked with those folks likely to get here. We have grad systems and data. They're the folks who are building the Grad Rebel Gateway and manage all of our online interfaces and data and forms. We have our Graduate and Professional Student Association, who you met earlier, and I want to give a shout out to Anel Rojas, who is our GPSA advisor and manager. She's based over at the Graduate Commons on the 2nd floor of Lead Library, which I'm hoping will be like your second home. It's a great space for graduate students. So the GPSA is a wonderful and supportive group. We have the Office of Postdoctoral Affairs. Probably doesn't apply to any of you, but if you end up being a postdoc at UNLV, we'll be working with you to support you. We have the Graduate Council, and the Graduate Council is our faculty governance wing. Every one of your graduate coordinators, who, if you don't know, you're going to know soon, every one of those folks belongs to the Graduate Council, and they work with us to manage graduate programs, curriculum, awards, everything we do in the graduate community, we do in conjunction with the Graduate Council. We also have the Office of Graduate Financial Services. We give out something like $18 million plus a year to you, as graduate assistants, as scholarships, as fellowships. And so pay attention to the messaging we send out because there's a tremendous opportunity for financial support. We also have emergency retention awards. If you're on the verge of having to drop out for economic reasons over a sudden, financial crisis, we can try and help save you and keep you in school. So there are opportunities like that. Check out our website for this information. Watch that messaging that we send out. Don't miss these opportunities to tap into these funding coffers. And then we have the Professional Development Academy, as I mentioned earlier. And last but not least, we have our RPC team. RPC is Retention, Progression, and Completion. So this team is tasked with taking you, newly matriculated grad students, and helping retain you, keep you in school, progress you. We don't want you to stay stagnant, right? We want you to make progress in your degree program, and then complete you. We want you to graduate, and this is the group that confers your degree. So, Grad Financial Services, as I mentioned, scholarship, fellowship, and GA opportunities. And then professional development opportunities through our Professional Development Academy, workshops, free certifications, and events. The free certificates, it's worth just pointing out, these you apply and join a cohort. These are one-year programs. As I mentioned, completely free to you. And you can get into these in the research certification, teaching certification, mentorship, communication, or postmaster's career preparation. So these are all free opportunities for you. We also have other programs that run through the Professional Development Academy that we'll send you messaging about. Many of these programs are both great for professional development, great for resume and CV building, great for building networks of friends and colleagues from around campus, but they also often offer scholarships just for participating in the program. So keep your eyes out for those things. And so now I'd like to turn this over to our RPC team, the leader of which is Ms. Kara Wada. Kara is our Executive Director of Admissions and Enrollment Management, and she's tremendous at what she does. Her team handles the front office, recruitment, admissions, and RPC. So now I'm going to turn you over to their very capable hands to talk to you about the RPC process and you.
Dean Corkin. Hi, Grad Rebels. Welcome. Come on. Seriously? Hi. All right. So before I get started, I have the results of the bingo. We randomly drew 4 winners for the swag up here. So when I call your name, just come up, grab a bag. So Linda will come up here and hand it to you, and then we'll move on. So drum roll, please. That's weak. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Okay, that's better. All right. So the first person who gets a swag bag is Ricardo Munoz. All right. Next we have, I'm so sorry if I butcher your last name, Don Matus. Julian Mihi? And last but not least, Maria Nunez. Congratulations. Oh, good. All right. So I hope you all are having a great day so far. We receive over 6,000 applications for admission every year at UNLV and the Graduate College, and just a small fraction of those actually get admitted. So like Dean Corgan said, you all really are the best of the very best. So congratulations, and we're so happy that you decided to choose UNLV for your graduate studies. So I'm here really just to introduce your RPC team, Retention, Progression, and Completion. I'm really gonna let them say their names themselves, but just so you know, these women work incredibly hard day and night sometimes to make sure that they're processing all of your forms, your graduations, answering any questions that you have. But we're here to help. So if you run into any roadblocks anytime during your graduate program here, make sure to reach out to your appropriate RPC coordinator, and we're more than happy to help you in any way that we can. So without further ado, I'm gonna pass it on to these ladies.
Hi. How's everybody doing? Awesome. we're coming towards the tail end of our presentation, so I just want a little more attention because we're going to dive into some really important stuff. My name's Celinda Miranda Labella, and I am very pleased to be the Senior RPC Coordinator for the Graduate College. And the RPC team, while we have probably one of the longest titles of all of the staff in the Graduate College, it's just a fancy way of saying that we're your liaison from now until the day that you graduate. We work with all students on their record, so processing paperwork, making sure that you're regularly enrolled and making progress towards your degree, that you're getting that communication from your graduate coordinator about important deadlines, working with your advisory committee if you have questions about what that should look like and are still confused about that process. We're always here to assist at any step of the way. And while you all come from different backgrounds and have very different program requirements, I can confidently say that our team is going to help make sure that your every need is being met during your time here at UNLV. So Dean Corrigan talked a little bit about the graduate student timeline, and so we're going to break that down for you. And so we're going to try to make sure that you have a basic understanding of the things that are required of you over the next couple of years, things that you should keep in mind on the horizon, and making sure that you have a brief understanding, as we can do in the next few minutes, of what is expected of you during your time here at UNLV. So let's talk a little bit about your early career requirements. Number one, check your Rebel Mail. I cannot ask you enough. All of your official communications from the university go to your Rebel Mail account. We use it so much here at UNLV, and it's going to be so important that you are checking that regularly or having that forwarded to a personal email address so that you're getting those communications. It's the only way that we will communicate with you in the Graduate College, and so we want to make sure that you're getting those important alerts, that you have that form to ask us questions, comments, concerns. You can send us some jokes. Sometimes we like a good laugh in the Graduate College, but you're going to want to do so through your Rebel Mail account. I know that Dean Corrigan just mentioned the Grad Rebel Gateway. Get used to logging in there frequently. Not only is it the place where you engage for admissions or where you engaged with your graduate financial services requirements, but starting in October, that's where we're going to start communicating with you in regards to your physical record, forms that you might need to submit to the Graduate College for various reasons, applications, when it comes time for engaging with the Professional Development Academy, applications and such will be available in there. And so it's going to be your engagement hub. So log in regularly to that Grad Rebel Gateway. We're going to be sending you communications there that are customized to you and your programs. We're really excited about all of the big changes that are going to be coming over this semester because we think it's going to be easy to engage with you and that you're going to be even more informed than previous cohorts have had the opportunity to be informed. So we're really excited about that. At this point, make sure that you're checking your admissions letter for any conditions or provisions that you might have received that are tied, conditions or provisions that are tied to your admission, and make sure that they're being satisfied. You have the next couple of weeks to get that completed. It can jeopardize your admission, so we don't want to deal with that. Make sure that you are satisfying those requirements, getting those communications to your graduate coordinator, to the Graduate College, so that way we can really welcome you to the Rebel family and get you excited for your first couple of classes. You also will want to meet with your graduate advisor or graduate coordinator for your program at some point during this semester. Start to talk to them about what your aspirations are in this field. Talk to them about what tracks and initiatives are going to be best for you in regards to your program, in regards to your professional development after you graduate, and start that relationship. They're going to be so key to your success here at UNLV. You want to make that strong relationship with your advisor and graduate coordinator. I can say for myself, I'm still very, very close to my graduate coordinator from the program that I attended now 10 years ago. So definitely build those relationships. They're going to be so important to you and to your success as well. We want you to think about your concentration or your subplan and declare that by emailing your RPC coordinator as soon as you and your advisor have determined what that looks like. Some programs have subplans or concentrations or focuses that you need to declare. Others do not. And so it really is dependent on your program. You can have that conversation with your graduate coordinator. We also want you to work with your advisor and graduate coordinator to identify your advisory committee sometime in the next 2 semesters. That's not something that you need to do tomorrow, but as you think about whether you're going to have research initiatives, if you're going to be writing a thesis or a dissertation, if you're working on a professional paper, and you need to identify that advisory committee, you want to surround yourself with the people that are going to lift you up to succeed. And so making sure that you are working with your advisor or graduate coordinator to have those meaningful conversations, talking with the professors in your class, building those relationships to identify what their research interests are, to help build your dream team to get you over the finish line. So important from the start. We want you to read your graduate college catalog. If you go to catalog.unlv.edu, you'll be able to click right on the graduate catalog link and find your program, read the requirements, get familiar with the policies and procedures that are in there. That is the mecca, if you will. It is where you can find everything related to your specific program. All the requirements that you're going to be beholden to during your time here at UNLV is in the graduate catalog and in your program handbook, which you should have received a link to. It should live somewhere on your program website. Your graduate coordinator should be able to provide that to you. Get familiar with all of the information that in those 2 areas. It's everything you're going to need academically. And we do want to highlight the continuous enrollment policy. You do have to be registered and completing at least 6 credits over rolling 3 semesters. And so that is a funny way of saying the semester that you're in now and the 2 semesters prior to the one that you're in now. So at any given time, you should be completing 6 credits between now and the next and the 2 semesters previously. You're good now, right? You're all new. But in the next couple semesters, we're going to be checking your status, making sure that you're making that progress. And that's really just our way of helping to ensure that you're progressing through your program. And if there are any issues, if maybe you need to take a break and take a leave of absence because of unexpected life situations, that's completely normal and anticipated. At some point in your career, let us know and we can help you, coach you through that process. But you do need to be making that progress, that be continuously enrolled during your time here at UNLV. And the last item that we have up here is getting involved. There are so many organizations. Our GPSA is exceptional and they have so many opportunities. They work so hard outside of the classroom to make sure that you all are being heard and advocated for and that you're getting awesome opportunities on campus. And so take advantage of those opportunities. A lot of students don't, and they're missing out on scholarships. They're missing out on employment. They're missing out on advocacy trips to, for different political advocacy groups. There's so many things that our GPSA does, and it's so important that you get involved. You also have your own organizations tied to your colleges and departments, and we highly encourage you to make your mark here at UNLV and get involved. At this point, I'm going to transition over to Carlina to take us through the mid-career process.
Hello, I'm Carlina Pablo. I'm the RPC coordinator for Education and Allied Health Sciences. How many of you are admitted into education? Ooh, show of hands. All right, for Allied Health, you guys want to yell it out? You're dying out there. Okay, I'm going to keep it short because I know it's the end of the day. You've had a long day ahead. Woo! Okay. Yeah, snow cones outside. Okay, so I'm going to discuss the middle part of your career. Like Celinda had said, make sure you log into the Grad Rebel Gateway to determine all the program forms that are required for your program. That's why you'll want to notify us of your concentration or your subplan. That's tied to the Grad Rebel Gateway that will determine what forms are needed. Every student will complete the 2-part plan of study form that will list the requirements for your program. For master's students, if you're writing a thesis or pro paper, you'll submit the prospectus approval form with an abstract. as far as for doctoral students, you'll submit the advancement to doctoral candidacy form. And I'm going to pass it along to Meg so she could explain the last stretch of your Grad Rebel career.
I'm going to raise this up because I'm the tallest person in the front office. If you ever put stuff on top of the refrigerator, my office is next to it. I'll be happy to take it off the top of the refrigerator for you.
I will be on the step stool.
So again, my name is Meg Wilson. I'm in charge of sciences, engineering, nursing, the medical school, and urban affairs. So essentially, all of the introverts and urban affairs. So I know some of you are introverts and you're quiet and you don't want to actually talk, but how many of you would like to graduate? There are some people who did not raise their hand. I'm kind of scared. So for those of you who want to graduate, you have to apply to graduate. You have to tell us. My name is not Miss Cleo. I do not have a magical mystical ball on my desk. There's no tarot cards at my desk. So please apply to graduate. You can apply to graduate up to 2 semesters before you actually want to graduate. So please apply to graduate. We'll send you a lovely email telling you all the stuff that you need to get to us and when you need to get it to us by. Next thing you need to do is you have to be enrolled the semester you graduate. I know that's mean of us, but you actually have to be enrolled the semester you graduate. So you have to be enrolled in a minimum of 3 graduate credits the semester you graduate. This covers your fees, this covers your defense, this covers all the things that you need to do that last semester. You need to complete your requirements according to your culminating experience, the graduate catalog, and your program handbook. This includes checking your Rebel mail. Check your Rebel mail. This is the important time to check your Rebel mail. You've applied to graduate. We'll be telling you via your Rebel mail. If you're doing a thesis or dissertation, this would be the time that you'd finish that up. That's your very last step. You're crossing the finish line right there. And then finally, fall and spring commencement. And you're almost there because you already have chords. So I'm going to ask you again, who here wants to graduate? Thank you.
So at this point, we're going to invite Caitlin DiBenedetto to run our student panel today.
While they're getting situated, I have something that might make you feel energized and excited about the pending end of this orientation, and that is after this session, I'm going to come back up here and we're going to wrap it up with a scholarship drawing. So all of you who are here have your name in for a scholarship, and so we've pulled names and we know who the winners are. But as they get settled in, I've got a question for y'all. So it says that we're giving 2 $500 scholarships, but I'm feeling like y'all have put in a lot of time and energy being here with us today, and I'm hoping you're going to come to the mixer afterwards, so maybe we'll increase that amount. Would you rather have 2 $1,000 scholarships? All right then. So here's what you're going to do. Between now and a few minutes from now, you're going to think about this simple question. Would you rather have 2 $1,000 scholarships, right, $2,000 total, or 4 $500 scholarships? All right, think on it. I'm going to turn you over to Caitlin and the panel, and I'll be right back with your money.
All right, so now how is everyone doing? Awesome. So before we begin, I'd like our panelists to please introduce themselves.
So my name is Patrick DeLeyden. I'm a PhD candidate in the Department of Computer Science. I'm Eric Fries. I'm a doctoral student in anthropology.
Hi guys, my name is Alicia. I'm a master's student in couple and family therapy.
And I'm Shaima. I'm a PhD student in geoscience.
So what they didn't really mention is that they are all ambassadors. So when Val and Kate were talking about getting involved, everyone up here are some of our most involved students on campus. And so as you go through your graduate career, we really want all of you to consider, the Professional Development Academy programs, including being the face of the graduate college as one of our Grad Rebel ambassadors. So our first question that I have for you guys is, what are beneficial things to do your first year that will make the rest of your graduate student career successful?
So I guess there's a lot of things that I'd say, but just to keep it to one or two, I think one of the most important things, particularly if you're in a longer program, PhD program, but even the master's program, is to really sit down and generate a plan for your academics and what you're going to need to do. If it's a research plan or whatever, with your advisor as soon as you can. So you can't do that on day one, but sometime during that first year, I think you really want to make sure that you have some kind of actionable plan, or you'll wander around in the nether regions for a long time, and that you don't want to get into that trap. So that's probably the most important thing I can think of to start thinking about right away.
Something I find really beneficial is to get to know your cohort, the students that you come with in your department, and also people in your specialty in your department who might be a year or 2 years ahead of you. These are some of the few people in the world who are as intensely interested in this esoteric thing as you, right? And so they're a great resource for discussion, for ideas. You're going to be stuck with them in classes for 2 to 3 years, so they're going to be people who know when your due dates are, when you forget, stuff like that, who might have a reference that you need, that they checked out from the library. Instead of recalling it, you can just go to their office and get it from them, right? So that's your core people that you're going to be with, and get to know them. Even if you're not friends, get to know them as colleagues.
Okay, I'm going to mention two things. The first thing is, and this is especially important for those of you that are master's students, you're not going to be here for that long. So there's a lot of opportunities that are available through the graduate college, and some of those deadlines come up really quick to apply for, like this semester. So I would go ahead and urge you to have a sense of urgency about applying for those now, because they'll start next year. So this might be your only opportunity to apply for them. The second thing I'm going to say is something that I did and I found really helpful was to kind of write down intentions for your career here, and then check in throughout the year and make sure that you're kind of staying true to those, because it's very easy to get bogged down in your classes.
This might sound redundant, but this is really important. You really need to plan ahead. You need to set your goals, know what you want to do, what you want to get out of the program with. Because in the grad school, you're going to make lots of decisions, and it's a lot easier to make these decisions when you know what you want to do ahead. The second thing is to plan for your own life, because these 2 or 5 years are part of your life, so you will regret not having fun during this part of life. That's important, because I got my master's here in UNLV. I spent the 2 years just studying, and then I went back to my country and I discovered that I missed a lot. I spent 2 years in the US without doing anything. So I'm back for my PhD. I planned a lot for my fun time, so that's important. Plan for your fun time.
I like it. So I think Patrick and Alicia, maybe you guys can answer this question. How do you manage your time between your academic and personal responsibilities?
Yeah, time management is one of those things that is such an important thing. So I'm one of those people that when they get busy, I actually get a lot more productive because I'm forced to schedule myself out really, really carefully. So I think that's probably the most important thing, is you've got all these different things you have to deal with. At the beginning of your programs, you're taking classes. If you're a GA, you've got responsibilities in a lab. You've got your own research program, whether that's to write a thesis or a dissertation or whatever that is. And so if you don't make a plan kind of week by week at the beginning of the week to say, well, I want to accomplish this and this and this on these things, what will happen is you'll only deal with the urgent stuff. And there's always urgent stuff. You'll have urgent stuff till the day you die, I think. But certainly in graduate school, there's so much of that if you don't plan and say, look, I'm going to take this afternoon on Tuesday to work on my research, even though that's a project that isn't going to, bear any fruit for a while. If you don't spend that time, you end up getting to it when it is urgent, and then it's just not as good. So I think scheduling and planning your time on a week-to-week basis is really important.
I agree with Patrick. And also, I'm in the couple and family therapy program, which is a little bit emotionally intense. So something that my supervisor passed to me and I'll pass to you is to actually schedule time in my calendar for self-care, because it's very easy to sit down with the intention of watching like Netflix and then all of a sudden you're working on your paper again. So just kind of blocking out an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever you need, and just do something that kind of fills your tank so that you're not getting burned out.
I like it. All right. So Eric and Shema, I'm going to have you guys answer this one. What UNLV resource have you found the most beneficial for your long-term academic and career goals?
So for me, it's definitely been the library, and within the library, the Grad Lounge, which is kind of a misnomer. It's really more like a grad resource center, and there's a ton of stuff there besides just seats and computers. And the same way the library is a lot more than just books and articles and computers. There's resources like poster printing. In the Grad Lounge, there's microwaves. There's all kinds of software that you don't have access to on regular university computers. And when I first came here, my lease fell through. I didn't have anywhere to live for the first 3 weeks, so I was living in hotels, didn't have internet, and I basically used the Grad Lounge to survive because I would heat up my lunches there. I would go there and use the computers like all day from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and they're open later than that, but I would do all my work there, and that was really smooth. They helped me transition to UNLV. So I'd say go to the library and explore it and see what all there is that they have to offer besides just texts.
My number one resource is the planner. I'm a big fan of planners, and I used to spend a lot on planners, but this one, like every time I use it, once I see the UNLV logo, it reminds me of all my career goals, so it's pretty cool. And my number two is the Academic Success Center workshops. These are really beneficial. And there's also the awards and scholarships that are offered by the Grad College. These look really good on your resume. And there is also the Grad College workshops. These are really beneficial as well. And then you can get certificates at the end of your program if you attend these. Just get it for free.
I think Patrick wanted to add something.
Yeah, I want to plug the GPSA here a little bit, for one thing, because you heard from some of the GPSA people. I did it for 3 years. The first 3 years I was here at UNLV, and it was such a great way to get involved. But what you realize is just how many resources there are that are offered to students, and we have some great programs. They talk about like the sponsorship committee. That's a really big deal. All that money going right back directly to students. She mentioned the workshops and stuff that are, sort of coordinated between the Grad College and GPSA. But then there's a lot of other activities that GPSA offers. So I really encourage you to find out every department has a representative, and they're supposed to be communicating what's going on at GPSA, but there's so much that gets kind of lost in the shuffle of communication. So I think it's worth seeking that out a little bit.
Well, you guys all sound really busy, just like all of you will be. And so my final thing, which Shema, you touched on a little bit, is what do you do on the weekend to get away? Shema, you can start, since you did mention it.
Okay. So the weekend is 2 days. I spend 1 day with my friends, have fun, not think of anything about school. And then the next day I just do the house chores.
Yeah,
that's it.
I'm the same. House chores on Saturday.
Unless I have some deadline or something, I'll spend the whole night at school working. But if there is something really urgent, other than that, I just have fun. Yep.
So I do my best to take the weekends off. It's not always possible. But when I do, I like to go hiking. I kind of find that is a nice break, and my papers and my books can't reach me out there.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time outdoors. Red Rocks is a great place that's right on the edge of town. It's really easy to get to. We're really close, like a day trip away from a lot of national parks and national monuments, and there's actually an annual pass you can get that pays for itself in 3 visits. So if you have a car and you want to go out to see some of those places, I would really recommend looking into that. And in town, there's other stuff, Springs Preserve, Clark County wetlands. There are areas of nature that are not just desert that you can get some relief in.
So yeah, I've got 5 kids, so my weekends are at home, but I enjoy that. So I'm kind of a homebody and that. But I've been here for 10 years now in Las Vegas, and there's so much that the place has to offer. I mean, not just all the touristy things, which are fun to do. Downtown and Fremont Street can be a particularly fun thing to do, and not actually cost you a lot of money, because I know none of you will have any money until after you graduate. So that's one good thing to kind of do. But yeah, getting outside, there's so much to do here, and Arizona's got some really neat things that you can kind of get to, and when it's hot, and the Lake Mead preserve thing. So anyway, there's a lot to do. You have to kind of go out and look for it, though. So.
All right, so before we thank our panelists, I think this is a great time. Would you bring my phone, Val? I think it's a great time for everyone to take out their phones, right? Because you guys all heard in the very beginning with Val that you could win a $500 scholarship. So get with the people next to you and take a group photo. Come on, we'll do it.
All right, so that social media thing is separate from what I'm talking about, right? So it's just yet another way to get scholarship money. So, go on Facebook, go on Twitter, go on LinkedIn, say nice things about us, post your photo that you were here, and then we'll draw the $500 drawing next week and let you know who wins that one, okay? So LinkedIn, if you don't have a LinkedIn profile, I encourage you to create one. More and more and more, not just to follow us, but you should, but more and more people are looking at one another, and professional reputations are being linked to your LinkedIn profile. So if you don't have one yet, I'd encourage you to build one, and this is really a totally sort of professional, career-oriented kind of social media outlet. So I encourage you to pop on the phone or whatever device you have and create yourself a LinkedIn profile this weekend if you don't have one already. So it says here $500 for one U.S. student and for one international student, but I gave you an option a minute ago, so let's decide on which way you want to go. Do you want to do 2 $1,000 scholarships or 4 $500? So 4. All right, I heard from the 4s. How about the 2s, just to be fair? Oh, you're easy and decisive. I love it, love it, love it. All right, so let me get to my magic list here. All right. The first person is Kim Dong-wook. Congratulations, Kim. You're coming to see me afterwards. All right, that was easy. How about Cole Laquanda? Do we have a Cole Laquanda? Congratulations, Cole. Okay. And next up on our list of winners is Milad Rezazada. Maybe something close to it. Rezazada? Not here? Milad. Wave goodbye to your money. No? All right. Well, Razad's bad luck is actually really good luck for June Jin. We have a June Jin in the room? Yes! Congratulations! Excellent. And last but not least, our 4th scholarship winner, Mohammed Al-Hulabi. Is Mohammed here? Uh-oh. Oh, Mohammed. Really? Nobody? All right. Next on the list is Kian Wadwani. Do we have a Ki? Not here? I'm drawing from, half was the domestic, half were the international, so I don't know. All right, let's try again. Avinash Yaganapu. Yay! Avinash is here. All right. So we have 4 or 5 $500 scholarship winners. Congratulations to all of you. And congratulations to all of you new grad rebels. Welcome to UNLV. We couldn't be happier to have you. And as evidence of that, we're throwing you a party. Did you hear about this? Again, first time ever, GPSA and Grad College got together and we're throwing a big festival for you at Sunset Park, which is not far from here at the Aspen Camp picnic area. And so it's from 5 to 7, and there'll be free food, free tacos, free snow cones, bouncy houses for both kids and adults, so feel free to bring your family. So come on over to Sunset Park. We're throwing a welcome Grad Rebels party. We hope you can join us. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
Yes.